Hello and welcome to the Crafty Diamond. I am Debbie. Today's video is my weekly whip and chat. If you're not familiar with what a whip and chat is, that is a work in progress. I am working on this gorgeous diamond painting, so grab something that you want to work on, or if you just want to treat this like a podcast, feel free to do that as well. But come along with me and let's get to diamond painting. If you are new, welcome. If you are not new, welcome back. I really appreciate you tuning in today or tonight or whenever the case may be. I am working on Garden Girl. I've been working on her since last week. I've actually gotten quite a bit done. It is taking me a lot longer to work on this one, primarily because the drills are so good. They fit perfectly in place. I want to make sure that they are straight. This has been probably the straightest that I have ever done squares. So I am very impressed with the quality. It is from Art and Soul Diamonds, and I am just having fun with this. So it may take me a little bit longer. You might see this on a few more whip and chats, but I may end up going and multi-placing, but right now I am just enjoying this process. I am going to bling up her clothes a little bit once I get there, but right now I'm just at the top of the canvas. I am working on my second row, and I am working on her hair and just the sky. So not a lot really. But it is absolutely beautiful. So that's what I'm going to be working on today after we finish as well. I'm going to try to get a little bit of diamond painting in for today if I possibly can. So hopefully you'll see more of this by next week, that I'll have more done. But first of all, how are you guys? Let me know how you're doing. What are you working on? If any of you have been affected by these hellacious fires in California, I am thinking of you. I am thinking of the entire area that has been on fire. So many people have been misplaced, lost their homes, their entire communities, and I see the news, I see all of the devastation, and it just is heartbreaking. And so I feel for everyone that is in that predicament, not knowing where to go or if your house is going to be safe. And I am definitely praying for all of you and your family, and just hope that they can have this fire contained soon. It's just very, very scary. So I do feel for those people. Also, there have been a lot of snowstorms around the country. We actually got a little bit of snow here in Georgia, and it was like a big deal. And we hadn't had snow since like 2018, somewhere around there. And my dog had never seen snow. So she was very disturbed at first, but she loved it. She played in it. She got soaking wet. So we had to dry her off really good when she came in. She did not want to come in, but it was so cold that I was afraid that she was going to end up getting really sick for being cold and also wet because she was all in the snow. Then our snow turned into ice, which I don't like. The snow was nice. It was really pretty. It really didn't affect us in any way. It was on a Friday when we had gotten the snow, so we weren't planning on going anywhere. My husband had already said he was going to work from home that day, and Paige and I had no place to go. Normally Paige works on Friday, but she didn't get home from Disney until about 9 o'clock Thursday night. They ended up staying an extra day, and she was ready to come home. They had been there for a full week and a day. The crowds were awful at Disney World. Normally, the crowds are pretty sparse this time of year, according to several people that my kids and their dad had talked to, but they were having a marathon, several races, it's my understanding, over the weekend from like the 9th on, I believe. And Disney was absolutely packed because of it. So they had to wait in horrendous lines. And then they also had to withstand the cold. It actually had gotten really cold at Disney. And my oldest had on 2 sweatshirts and a jacket. And then my youngest had on a couple of sweatshirts herself, plus a coat. And she's never cold. So she was even complaining how cold it was. They couldn't believe it was that cold in Disney. And they all came back sick. It pretty much hit Maddie, my oldest, the day that they were leaving. She started feeling bad. She didn't want to say anything to her dad because he would freak out. He has this phobia now of the C word because he is not in the best of health, and he was just so worried that he was going to get it, but he couldn't have been that worried because he was in the park. If the park was open when they were there, he was there. He stayed till really late at night. They did stay at a Disney resort, so they had the perks of being able to stay late, stay early, go in early. And then he also paid for an extended night. One night they were there till after midnight, and he had paid for an extended ticket until like 1 o'clock in the morning. And my kids couldn't make it. He stayed, but they didn't. But they both came back feeling really bad. Madison felt bad and was telling me, as soon as she got on the plane, she said she just felt awful, and she was trying to get to where she was, feeling a little bit better from having to fly. So she took some meds, and she was okay to get home. And then she said she started feeling better. Well, then today, which for me, today is Monday, it'll be Tuesday for you. She had called me and she said that she was starting to feel really bad again, and she had school that started today. And then she also has clinicals that start this week. She is going to nursing school, so she was getting concerned about that. Paige started coughing a couple of days ago, and Paige gets sick very easy. I didn't think that she would get that sick being at Disney, but had no idea that it was going to be so frigid in the evenings. And so now she is extremely sick, and I have a doctor's appointment for her tomorrow, which will be Tuesday. So hopefully they'll be able to give her something. More than likely, it's a sinus infection. It does appear to be sinus related, so that's what I am hoping, that's all it is. And I thought, maybe I ought to go ahead and give her a C test. Don't want to say it because sometimes YouTube will ding you, and I don't want to get a ding. So anyway, she was going to test for that. I went and looked at all of the kits we had left, which we had quite a few, and they've all expired. They expired in like the end of 2022. So I thought, well, I guess it wouldn't hurt to try. Well, it didn't do anything. So I thought, no, that's not going to work. So I don't think that she has it, but I wanted to be able to tell her doctor, hey, I did test her. No, she doesn't have it, but she could have the flu possibly, but she's not running a fever. So hopefully it is just sinuses. I gave her some of her normal medicine that she takes for sinus infections, and gave her some heavy duty cough medicine, which tends to help her. But right now she is just miserable. So hopefully we will be able to get that nipped in the bud pretty quickly and get that taken care of, so she will be able to work on Friday. She has missed almost a whole month of work between Disney. They don't need her at the beginning of the year because they're quite slow. And then she had to have a procedure on her foot, so she was out because of that. So hopefully she'll be able to work on Friday, but if not, she just can't. That's just all there is to it. But we'll see how the rest of the week goes. Right now, I am feeling okay. I think that I'm starting to get a little shortness of breath. I do have asthma. I've taken my inhaler and everything seems to be okay. But if she gets sick, I probably will too, because she gets so close to me. She doesn't always cover her mouth like she should when she is coughing. She has coughing attacks. And so if she gets it, I'm usually right behind her. So I'm trying to take additional vitamin C and some zinc and just my extra vitamins. I just do not want to get sick. I've got way too much going on with work and just things in general that I need to get done. So I don't need to be laid up in the bed trying to get well. So good wishes our way would be very, very much appreciated. I mean, like I said, right now I feel fine, but who knows? Hopefully I can get her seen. I was hoping to get her in today, but the doctor's office was fully booked. And so I just told them, tomorrow's fine. And I got the last appointment, and that's late in the afternoon. So we'll have to wait until then. But I guess an appointment's better than nothing. I didn't want to have to take her to a minor emergency clinic unless I just had to, because they don't know all of her issues and things. Just makes it a little bit easier. But anyway, hope all of you are doing okay and that you're not getting sick from all this crazy weather. She did have a really nice time in Disney. Her dad's already talking about going back. I've never, ever met anybody quite like him in different areas, but mainly with Disney. I mean, I love Disney too, but I could not go to Disney like he does. I wouldn't want to go to Disney like he does. They literally went from morning until night. They went back and forth. I think I have this. Oops. I have this upside down. I will put that over there. They went from morning to night with Disney. And he was just rushing through the parks like, a kid that just couldn't wait. And that was another thing, is that I think that she was also exhausted from going, just constantly going, not eating right, and just not being in her home environment. I think a lot of that had to do with her not feeling good and then getting sick as well. But he is already talking about going in the summer sometime when my oldest to go with him. He said he didn't think he was going to ask Paige, and he just thinks that she doesn't have the stamina like they do, and so he is not going to ask her, which I also have opinions on that, but I'm not going there. Not going to bring that up here. It's irrelevant. But anyway, she said even if they asked her to go, she has no plans of going. She said once is enough. And she really was getting upset being there. She said she had been there for a long enough time, and then he wanted to stay. And so it was kind of one of those things that I told her, you need to go. You already said you're going to. And then I felt awful because then she got sick. So then I felt like, well, if I didn't force her to go, because she said she wanted to go, he had already gotten the tickets. Maddie had planned on, seeing her and wanting her to be with her and have some sister time, just the two of them, which they never ever get to do. So, I thought it was a good idea, kind of talked her into it, and then she came home sick. So I feel kind of bad because, I'm thinking, well, if I didn't force her to go, then maybe she wouldn't come home sick. If I would have known that it was going to be that cold, then I would have said, no, don't even bother to include her. But he had already paid for everything. And I didn't think it was fair that they went and she didn't get to go and, get to experience Disney, even though she's been many, many times. But anyway, she will not be going anywhere for a while, and neither will I. And it's just so expensive to go anywhere. Madison was telling me that her dad was just dropping money like it was, nothing. Every time they did something, it was just outrageously expensive. Just getting food and, the whole bit was just really, really expensive. And so I know that I won't be going because we're looking for a house. My husband has decided that now that our house is sold, that he doesn't want to wait until our lease is close to renewing. He's decided he doesn't want to renew the lease here. We love it here, but we want our own place. It's just not the same as our own place. We haven't rented in a very long time, so trying to get used to all the requirements and things you can do, you can't do, and things that that need to be repaired that he would just love to do himself, and we can't do that kind of thing. It takes him forever to decide to come and make the repairs that are necessary. We've had some issues with that. All our neighbors are also complaining about them not wanting to make all necessary repairs, and we just decided that we want to start looking, and it'll take us a while. Our lease isn't up until the end of August, so we have plenty of time, but we're going to be extremely picky with whatever house that we decide on, because we're looking at this as if this is our last house before we have to go into some kind of senior assisted living if we have to. Hopefully we won't. We're not that old. No, it sounds like I'm really out there way I talk sometimes, but really not. But you have to think about the future. And we like the area. I would love to still go right in the heart of the North Georgia mountains, but I think that we are just going to stay in this area, which is, it's not far away, but it's enough to where we're still in town and there's still different places around here. Our doctors are around here. And one thing that I have found out just researching the two cities that we have been talking about for a couple of years of where we would like to live in the mountains, they actually allow chickens and roosters. And so I guess I'd be okay with chickens. I don't know. I wouldn't want to deal with chickens. But the problem that I have is that they do allow roosters. And in most of the subdivisions, the ones that are heavily monitored and regulated by HOAs, or homeowners associations, they won't allow it. But other places will. And they allow the chickens and the roosters to free roam. So they can be on your property and there's not anything apparently that you can do about it. And I do not want chickens and roosters on my property. I do not want to deal with that with my pets. We would want to have an area that's screened in, so where our cat could also go outside. And I do not want to have to worry about chickens or roosters in my yard. I just don't think I could handle that. Not to mention, I don't want to get up at the crack of dawn listening to roosters. That would drive me absolutely insane. So because of that, and then also the fact that, there's not close hospitals nearby, there's not a lot of restaurants. You couldn't just call Uber Eats or DoorDash if you wanted something and you just didn't feel like, getting anything, which we don't ever do, the two of us. But sometimes if we're not home, Paige will ask if it's okay if she can order something from DoorDash, and we go ahead and tell her usually that she can because she can't drive. And so that's been very helpful for us. And so we think about, if we move there, it's going to also affect Paige. So we're thinking of just staying in the area that we're in if we can find something here. I'm not even settled in this house yet, guys. That's the only thing, is that I'm not even settled. We are getting closer to getting everything done, but I still have some boxes that I need to unbox, and I don't remember what all is in them at this point. So I'm thinking, why should I even worry about unboxing if I'm going to be boxing up again? We had thought about staying here for a couple of years and then go ahead and find another place, but since our house sold rather quickly, it seemed like it was taking forever at the time, but it really didn't. We thought, well, we've got this money. We put the money into a savings plan, and right now it is a buyer's market. Even though the interest rates are still high, we can always refinance, is what my husband was telling me. And as much as we are paying in rent, which is actually more, almost 3 times as much as what we were paying for our mortgage, we feel like that we're just wasting money. And I would be perfectly happy just paying the extra for the rent and staying here. But I think that he just wants his own place. He's not used to not being able to do what he wants. And I totally get it. I mean, I really do. And this house, it's served its purpose. We were here for a reason. And now we are ready to start looking. And I am absolutely dreading it because it takes forever for us to decide on something that we both like. But I think that we really know what we're looking for. So that is going to be very helpful. And it may take us until the summer to find something. Who knows? I would hope not. And then it'll take us a couple of months. We can just take our time and move. So we'd be paying for a mortgage and for the rent here. And we know we're going to have to do that. So we're okay with that. That way we don't have to rush. I can actually take my time and put things away there, especially when I know it's going to be permanent. At least I hope it is. I do not want to move for a very, very long time. I've already told him, you better decide what you want because I don't want to do this again. We've moved too much in the last 5 years and I'm over it. But as long as I have a place to diamond paint, I am really okay. Like, give me my room. I may not have a she shed, but I'll have a she room, craft room. So I think that that's one thing that we're going to start doing soon, is just we have our realtor looking. We haven't heard back from her, but I told her that we weren't quite ready to even start looking. And so she just said, when you're ready, go ahead and let us know. And she said, until then, if something comes up that I think would really be good for you guys, then I'll let you know. And I hadn't heard anything from her, but I have found a couple of things that might work for this area. But we'll see. We will see how all of that's going to work out. I am making sure that where I am, you guys can see okay. Yes. I'm working mainly on her hair right now, and then this part here, this white, all of that is part of the sky, and that's what's taking so long. And her hair is absolutely stunning. I will be posting an update on Instagram and also on Facebook so you can see what this looks like, but it's so pretty. I'm going to change colors. That's really all that has happened around here. We do need to go and get our driver's license updated. We're in a different county. I kind of hate to do that if we're going to move again, but I think that we'll have to go into the DMV to get everything done because we did change counties. But I think that once we move, then all we'll have to do is to go in and update the address on the website, and then they will update our driver's license, and then they will send us a new license. And then they will send Paige a state ID. That's what I am thinking, but I could be totally wrong. It's been a long time since I have moved from one county to the next or to another county. And when I did that, we had gotten married. So I had to go in and change everything anyway with the name change and all that fun stuff. So I'm not really sure how all that works. I also have to contact probate court because I am Paige's guardian. And I have to find out, I know I have to tell them a change of address, but I'm not sure if I have to do anything since it is a different county. It's the same state. If we had changed states, then you have to go back in and apply for guardianship, reapply for guardianship in the state that you've moved to. But I think because it's just a county, I don't have to do all of that. I hope not. That was kind of scary. I had never been to court before. I mean, ever. And I didn't know what to expect. I had no idea. Our attorney could not believe. He's like, and you're in your 50s and you've never been to court? I'm like, nope, I have never, ever been to court. Whenever I got a divorce from my kid's dad, we just did everything through the attorneys, and I didn't even know for a month that we had been divorced because they waited and they finally, and my attorney didn't bother to call me. His attorney didn't call him, and I found out a month later, oh, I've been divorced for a month. So I'd never been to court, and we'd been married for 25 years. I didn't have any need to go to court. I never had any traffic violations, or I didn't have to worry about a wreck, nothing like that. And so I was kind of nervous. And it all went fine, but I'm hoping I don't have to go through that again because I had to get up on the stand. I had to answer some questions. I mean, it was simple questions. It wasn't much, but there was a room, packed room full of people that were waiting their turn that day. And I'm like, this is kind of impersonal, giving my business to everybody. But I mean, it was nothing I was trying to hide or anything, obviously, but it was just kind of, it was different. So hopefully that's not going to happen. I get nervous around authorities like that just because I'm afraid I'm going to say the wrong thing, or they're going to ask me something and I'm not going to have any idea what they're saying, or they're going to say, no, you've been denied. And then what am I going to do? You know, I worry about some of the stupidest things sometimes, things that I can't control, things that may not even happen, but it's like I take it upon myself to worry about it. And my husband grounds me. He's so good because he's like, you know, there's no point in you worrying. It is what it is. It may not even happen. But I'm like, yeah, I know, but what if it does? And he says, well, what if it does? Then you worry about it then. Don't worry about something that hasn't even happened yet. And I'm like, yeah, I guess you're right. And I know he is, but I'm like, it's really hard for me. It is. Those kind of things are really hard. I am a worrywart. I always have been, especially like when it comes to my kids. And especially when it comes to Paige, I am just really worried about things that can't control. I mean, it never happened, but again, it might. And if it does, I'm like, well, I'll be prepared if it does. And he's like, no, you won't be any more prepared then as you are right now. I'm like, yeah, okay. So, you know, the man does have a point. I'll say that much for him. But he does. He keeps me grounded because I start to get really upset on things, and he kind of slows my roll. And it was really funny because he was glad that Paige was home. We thought, oh, what are we going to do with her not here? We had plans to go out to eat and all this. We were going to go to a restaurant that we hadn't been to in a long time that we really did like. It's similar to Shogun. Well, it's Shogun, but it's similar to Benihana. And where, you know, they will do like the volcano and different things, you know, when they're cooking. And we would get sushi there sometimes, and then sometimes we would just get the chicken or the filet, and then it came with the fried rice, and it was so good. We loved their egg drop soup, and decided, well, we're gonna go there when Paige isn't home because she doesn't really like it that much. She loved the soup, and that was it. So we decided we're gonna go when Paige isn't home, and that way we can just go and enjoy it and just stay as long as we want to. We drove 45 minutes, get down there, and I'm like, oh, the parking lot, it's completely dead. There's not one car in the parking lot. And so there were other cars that had pulled up. They had a wraparound driveway. So I asked my husband, I said, well, if you'll just drive up there, and it was freezing. So if you will drive up there, then I'll go and look. There's got to be something on the door or something has happened. And so went up to the door, and I'm like, they closed back in October. He's like, what do you mean October? And I said, well, apparently we hadn't been there in a long time because they closed in the middle of October, and it says they've closed for good. They didn't open up another location. They are gone. So that was kind of sad. And then we ended up going to Olive Garden, which that was good, but I had my hopes set on eating at Shogun. So we ended up having a very nice dinner still, but it wasn't the same. I'm like, that's really sad. So we have found another restaurant that we may try that has that type of food and see if we like it. But we did that, and then our realtor gave us a couple of gift cards, and they're like $200 each on these gift cards for us having them as our realtor. And I'm like, well, that was really generous. And my husband's like, yeah, but look how much that we paid them to basically do very little work to sell our house. And yeah, they got a good chunk. So I thought, well, yeah, but that's still nice of them to be, they didn't have to do anything. So I thought that was really sweet. And it was two places that is in downtown of the town where we are currently living. And we have never been there. And so we thought, well, this will be a lot of fun. We were going to go there and decided not to. And then we ended up going to another Italian restaurant here that we like. We got pizza there. And then we just basically ate in the rest of the time. So I'm like, well, you know, we're kind of fuddy-duddies. But it was very quiet without Paige here. Even though she is very quiet, you never know if she's even here half the time. But I'm like, wow, is this what it's like to be empty nesters? This feels really awkward. So it took us a little bit to kind of get into a new normal, new temporary normal, but it was so nice to have her back. I'm like, you're not ever going anywhere again. And I was just teasing with her, and she's like, don't worry, I don't plan on it. And then 2 days later, she's sick, and she's like, I'm not about to go anywhere ever again. Every time I go somewhere, I get sick. And that's pretty much true. Her immune system is horrible. So that was basically our week. Nothing else really happened. I did get some diamond painting in. I feel like I didn't get a lot accomplished, but I kind of did if I think about it, because this one is taking a while since I am single placing these. But I mean, look how beautiful that these are. I'm not even having to do a lot of work on straightening. They just fit in just like a glove. And this color is so pretty. This yellow though, I keep looking at it, and to me it looks like corn. It looks like the corn that's been shucked off of the cob. So I thought that was kind of funny, but it is very bright, and I just cannot wait to get further on this one. So I've been spending most of my time on this one. I have finished my diamond painting that I did for the pink and black event. That didn't take very long at all to do. I will have a post-completion. Hopefully I will have a post-completion this week. Last week, time just got away from me, and I did not do videos like I had planned on it. I did like 1, maybe 2. I know I did my whip and chat. I don't know if I did the other one the week before or if I did it last week. It's like all the weeks now are running together. But anyway, I plan on getting 2 more done this week. So I'm trying to get on my schedule again, but it's really hard. And then also the fact that I don't have a lot of finishes right now because I've got several whips that I've got going on, and I really don't want to start anymore until I can get a couple of these close to finishing. And I am actually close to finish. Well, I shouldn't say close. I'm about 85% complete with the largest canvas I've ever done, and that one is Dragon Seasons. And I am getting closer on that one. I look at the end, I'm like, oh wow, I'm unrolling it. The end is in sight, and I am really happy about that. It's been fun, but now it is time for it to go, because I want to say that I have finished that one, and I want to show it as a finish. I cannot wait to show the entire canvas. I want to do it on a day that it's really nice out, so I'm going to put it outside. I want you guys to see how big this thing actually is. So I'm looking forward to getting that one done. I worked on that some a little bit yesterday when I had taken a break. I was doing some things around the house and was working some because school started back. And so I thought, well, I'm going to take a break from this canvas and work on that one. And it was fun to get back to it. I did enjoy that. It's also a round, so that was kind of nice to take a break from squares to go back to a round. But it's getting closer to finishing, and then that's going to take a while to kit down. I am going to kit down on my channel. And I did mention on, I think it was my last whip and chat, that I wasn't sure if I was going to continue to keep my drills, my spare drills, because I hadn't really used them that much. They were taking up space. It takes up a lot of time to have to put those up. And then I ran out of 2 colors. So on one of my canvases, the one that I completed that I will be sharing with you guys, and I had those colors in my stash. So that was a good thing because I was going to finish it. I thought if I have to, I will just have to find one of my other diamond paintings and see if I can't find that particular color. And I had it. So after that, I thought, yep, somebody's trying to tell me you better keep on saving those drills because you might need them. And then I may need some drills on an upcoming Heaven and Earth design that I plan on doing. It's going to be a big one, but I'm going to do it in the background, and I have seen it completed. I mean, not personally, I've seen it online completed. I've also spoken to the person that completed it and says that it was fun. It was a beautiful canvas and it is not pixelated, but it's going to take a long time to do. But I've got to see what all I need because I have a lot of drills that I ordered from Evermoment on my last Heaven and Earth design that I had to ditch last year, if you guys recall that. And I decided that I can use those on this project. I'll probably have to order some more of a different color, but I need to go through and see exactly what I need. I have ordered the canvas, and that one was kind of a shock when I found out how much it was, but I've ordered my canvas. I'm not gonna say which one it is yet. I want to surprise everybody, but I won't start on it till probably the middle of the year, maybe sooner, but I've got a list of what I plan on working on or what I would like to work on this year. And I will still work on some whips. I kept going back and forth, should I only work on one diamond painting? But I like to have a couple going, and I'm going to be participating in some events just to support the creator that's doing it or doing the events. And I don't know if I'll have this one finished or not in time. I don't think I'll get this finished by the end of January just because this one is taking me a while. Maybe it will go faster after I'm done with the hair and the sky. I think I'd rather have confetti than all of this line blocking just because I want to make sure that all of these are straight or it's not going to look right. But we are not in a race. If it takes longer, it takes longer. I do want to go through and work on several in my stash, try to get my stash down. There's no trying, I have to. I did de-stash quite a bit and I was so excited about that, but I still have more than I really should have. And I want to work on some of my smaller ones because even though they are moving this down, I keep hitting it, even though I have some smaller ones in my stash, I want to try to get some of the smaller ones out. Some of the smaller ones are newer than some of the other ones in my stash, but I still would like to work on those because it will look like I have completed, more in my stash. Even though they're smaller, the small ones take up room too. So I will be able to see that I have some openings and some empty spaces on my shelf. And so that's going to help motivate me more to want to continue working on my stash. So far, I have not purchased anything in January. Of course, it is still early in the month. And I'll tell you what, it's a struggle because Orloa has just come out with a Hannah Lynn that I saw it and I thought, oh, I want that one so bad. But I'm gonna hold off. It is on my wish list, but I'm not gonna get it yet because my Black Friday canvases that I ordered from Art and Soul came in just a little while ago. And so I've got those, plus I do some admin work for Art and Soul, and I do some unboxings for them. They send me some canvases, and so I have several more coming. And I'm not upset at all. I am excited that they're going to come in, but that still adds to my stash. Even though I didn't pay for them, it doesn't matter. It's still in my possession. It is in my house, so therefore it's in my stash. And I've got to really start to reduce. I've been listening. I always listen to Lizette. She is amazing. And I'm thinking, man, I wish I was like her, to where I would just say, I'm not having any more diamond paintings coming into my house until I get my stash completed, or at least get my stash down. And I just can't. I mean, I guess if I had to, I could. I don't have the motivation to do that, but I am on a low buy because I don't need to spend the money. I don't need the diamond paintings. But if there's something that I just cannot live without, then I might get it. I'm also on a budget, so I'm watching my budget, making sure I don't go over my budget. And that one from Orloa, though, that one is high up there on the list. I'm just not ready to buy anything right now because I haven't done enough this year. I've only completed the one. So I am going to hold off on buying that one, but I'm going to be watching it. If I see that it says low stock, I may have to pull the trigger and go ahead and get it, because I don't know if it's on low stock. It may take forever to come back, may not come back. But if it's really popular, I can imagine it not coming back, but I don't know. I don't know how Orloa does. So I may have to end up breaking down and getting that one. If you have not seen my video that came out late yesterday, which was Sunday afternoon for me, on the event that that's Kimba's Crafts, and I are hosting, it is on mini diamond paintings. Take a look at that. If you have any questions, let me know. Any mini diamond painting will work. That could be, Paint Gems, it could be Amazon, it can be Temu, it can be Diamond Art Club. Any of the ones that have these small diamond paintings, the little minis. And I've also had some people tell me that there's other companies that also are doing paint, the mini paint. I want to always call them Paint Gems, and that's not, I can't do that. But the mini diamond paintings, Fallon, I think it's Fallon Diamonds, they have them, and Make Market. So there are just a number of companies now that are getting on the kick of these mini paintings, and I am all for them. So check that out, and hopefully if you can join us if you would like to, and that does start on February the 1st. And I'm really excited for that. That will give me some finishes, because I can do a couple of those without too much worry during the month. I am going to call it a day here. I feel like I've been talking forever, but I had quite a bit of things going on that I wanted to tell you guys, and how things are going around here, which is pretty much going pretty well. And I also wanted to show you an update on this one. I am now starting to make more progress. It's getting there, but she is absolutely beautiful. I love the shine on this diamond painting. Thanks so much for joining me today. If you like this video, please click on the like button. Also, if you haven't subscribed, I would love to have you here. Click on that subscribe button. That way you are notified of any future uploads, especially if you want to join in on the fun with the mini diamond paintings, and then also Josephine Wall that we will have the event and starting in April. Until next time, happy diamond painting. Bye.